25. The Buffalo Bills do not need a quarterback.
No, they don't. The Buffalo Bills, I mean, of course, it's a really good roster. Again, they got, I think, a lot of defensive linemen as is. They're okay there. I don't, offensive line has, come to my brain here with them a little bit. Corner is probably the other thing I look at. Offensive line, they signed some free agents during the year to where that's what got me off that. They're okay there. Corner, I do think I look at that and go, that could be a real possibility here. Daxton Hill, maybe that kind of guy. Jordan Poyer right now, like Greg Pete, I'm sorry because I messed up with the Marcus Cannon thing earlier because I remember looking at an old roster earlier today where he started the game. That's why I threw him in there. Right? Am I losing my mind here? Jordan Poyer is still there.
Yeah.
Contract dispute, though, right? Right. So there's the squabble. I did think about Daxton Hill from Michigan here because he could be that guy, nickel, safety, do all those type of stuff. Andrew Booth, one of those corners from the Clemson corner. I thought about that. But here we go. I got a little curveball.
Ooh.
And this is a little bit because of, I've heard this too. Breece Hall. Yeah.
Iowa State running back.
Off the board. I heard so a little love affair through the grapevine up there in Buffalo that I've heard that they like Breece Hall a lot. So I'm going to kind of go here with, it's not totally off the rails here to go with this guy for what they are as a team. They're going to throw the ball. You're going to start playing too much defense. Ooh, here's a draw play to Breece Hall. Your safeties are 30 yards deep, and now you're going to have to tackle Breece Hall 30 yards down the field, and he's got 3 rockets up his ass. I can see them going that route. Oh, you're down the field worried about Josh Allen throwing lasers. Here's a dump-off screen to Breece Hall. Uh-oh, watch out. He's got 40 yards of free space to run around and get going here. So this one's a little of, yes, off the radar, but also hearing a little bit and going, I can see this makes sense. I can see it. It does make sense a little bit. And they're a team, and again, like I said, you look at offensive line, I think they did enough in free agency. The secondary thing is the question to me, and that's to me what it'll come down to. Breece Hall or somebody in the secondary.
Got it. And they thought they had, J.D. McKissick, right?
Right.
In free agency.
Exactly right.
Going back to Washington.
Yes.
You like Walker, the running back from Michigan State,
that's
better
my
than
cup
Breece
of tea.
Hall.
But they want a guy that's a little bit more of a real thing in the pass game.
Got it.
And that's, to me, Walker is like, he saw 4 balls in his whole time in Michigan State. He needs no pass game. Breece, you get to see a lot of it. He's smooth and can run routes out of the backfield, and that is his cup of tea, and that makes sense for what they want to do there in Buffalo.
26 is the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah.
They're a playoff team from last year. Might need everything, though, because everyone gets hurt every year.
Right,
so
right.
eventually they need all positions. Where do you go here?
Well, I go back to offensive line here. This is where I really looked at them this way. We got Robert Woods. Maybe they're a team that could be in the wide receiver market. I don't know. Just with Vrabel, John Robinson, New England type, I think they'll look for more value at the receiver in some other round. But you got Woods and A.J. Brown already. D-line, the D-line's awesome. Man, they're amazing. Middle linebacker went through my brain. They don't need safety. They don't need corner, really. So I went back to the O-line. That's what they are. I mean, that's who they want to be. And, there's some need there as far as interior O-line and right tackle. You could kind of go either way there in that conversation. And that's where I'm going to go Kenyon Green from the Texas A&M.
Guard.
He kind of fits both of those, though. We talked about, he played tackle in college. He's got all the measurables and is capable of doing that. But, yes, I think ultimately he's ready for guard right now. Maybe they're going, wait, we get him a guard now, and we actually do think there's potential he can be our starting right tackle, maybe 2 years from now. I could see that being the plan with this guy. So there's versatility as far as what he can do right away in year one, and I do think you're getting really a guard that's really more talented than Zion Johnson, just hasn't got to play there the whole time, and just is a hair more raw, but big-time talent.
So Titans shoring up that offensive line, opening up some holes for Derrick Henry, giving some time for Ryan Tannehill. The Buccaneers, they got a pretty complete team. A lot of veterans everywhere. They're on the clock at 27.
Yeah, the Buccaneers, again, I was like, wide receiver? Are they going to go wide receiver here? I don't know. I mean, are they just going to, you think about O-line? Would they do something like that and try to, add to the fact that they, lost a guy or two, or lost two guys. They lost their two guards. Right. So but they did trade for Shaq Mason and got him there to fill one of those holes. I don't think there's anybody there worthy of that pick, interior O-line, except for one guy. And then they might be able to do this because their team is so good, like you're talking about, I almost did put Tyler Smith from Tulsa on there. Tyler Smith he played tackle at Tulsa. He is made for guard, and I don't know did you do O-line with me that day?
No.
Tyler Smith was one of my fun watches. Like, he was one of those guys. I didn't make him a top 5 or 6, but he was the next guy, and I said, oh my gosh, you want to talk about mauler killing people.
I remember you saying that. Yep.
He was a good athlete. It's just all mechanics and raw. They just need to fix that. I mean, he was like doing crossover runs as he's pulling, and I'm going, oh my gosh, nobody's taught this guy. He's just doing it all. And like, I'll just get it done this way, this play, and I'll do it this way next play. And
so you loved him. He didn't make your top 5.
No.
And does he make your first round mock draft?
No, he did not. I'm going to go Andrew Booth from Clemson. All right, yeah. I'm going to go Andrew Booth from Clemson here. I think I look at it and go, hey, got Carlton Davis signed up. Jamel. Right, Sean Murphy-Bunting, really good, more of a nickel guy. Jamel Dean, we're getting to the point here where it's going to be contract time here soon, right? I look at Andrew Booth and go, man, there's a lot of elite qualities here for this football team. The Buccaneers are one of those teams I look at, I think have a little bit of they can go any way they want here in a lot of ways. And I think that I just ultimately came on Andrew Booth. I did also think with them, safety a little bit too, as far as like a Daxton Hill, that did cross my brain as well. But ultimately, yeah, I'm going with Andrew Booth at corner.
The corner is off the board at 27. 28, Green Bay Packers back on the board. You have them taking Chris Olave with the 22nd overall pick. Did they address defense with 28?
Yes, they did. And this is where I'm going Daxton Hill. I'm going Daxton Hill here. Darnell Savage has not been very good for them at safety position. That's one issue I look at, and then you look at their football team again. They got a lot of things that, are good. I thought about Trey Burks here as far as like maybe they do another receiver here, have a little bit of a different guy, and again, they can create ways to get him the ball and Lavi's running routes downfield, and now we got, this guy underneath doing this route or coming out of the backfield or whatever. Like I did think about that. But I think ultimately I looked at it with just Adrian Amos, where he's at in his career, corner position overall. I know the two outside are phenomenal. I get that. This is kind of your nickel safety type, which I kind of came away looking at their team going, I think this is probably the number one need on their team for me. Again, there's nothing glaring other than receiver on their team to really look at it and go, oh, that's an issue. But I went to the Joe Barry defensive coordinator, man, all those years with Tampa Bay and Rondé Barber. They really don't have that guy. And like I said, at the safety position, they've been a little less than. I'm going to go there. I know some people go pass rusher. I want to go. They just re-signed Preston Smith for like $50 million, and they got Rashawn Gary. They're not going to go pass rusher. I mean, I don't think. I know people say that. I don't see that being the case. So this is where I went Daxton Hill from Michigan.
Daxton Hill, so you got him going safety after going with receiver. Another team that a lot of people think are going to take a receiver in this very deep receiver class is the Chiefs, and they're on the clock at 29 and 30, so back-to-back here for Kansas City.
Yes, and I didn't really think it was going to fall this way, but if it does, it will be totally awesome. Christian Watson from North Dakota State, my second favorite receiver, and just this is going to be one of those where, I don't know, again, maybe one of these teams before this takes him. You know me, I think he's worthy of that. But I do know that NFL people are a little concerned about his ability to play the 50-50 ball and the competition. And yeah, I understand it, so that's out there. I like him more than that. I don't put as much into that at times, as you've heard me with past receivers. I just realistically could see, some of these other teams that want to draft receivers, I think really need something right now to prove it. They can't go on the, oh my gosh, unbelievable potential guy. Like, there's a few questions we have. I just don't think it. And I think it's going to leave him on the board here. And I think, like, when they pick him, the whole league's going to go, we let Christian Watson fall to them? Like, that's what I think's going to happen. Because I think there's a lot of teams that look at him and really want to make him a higher pick, but they're just not going to have the guts to.
Yeah.
And, yeah, he'd be perfect for them. They don't need him to be polished and ready to go right away. They can just say, hey, run to the goalpost as fast as you can.
It should be nicer to him than that, though. They should not say that to them.
Hey, first round, run to the goalpost.
Although maybe that's how you treat rookies, right?
That's
you
how
do say that.
You got to give them. You got to earn it. You got to, well, you start catching a few of those. I won't call you anymore. I'll learn your name.
But there is something to that, right? Andy Reid's built up, obviously, a lot of cachet where you can take maybe more risks. And if you're wrong, you're wrong. You're not going to get fired over it. So Christian Watson, one of your favorite receivers in the draft, 29. 30th, what do they do there?
30th is where I think they're going to go pass rusher. I do. And again, there's a guy that, was borderline in this area, but I'm going to go Boye Mafe from Minnesota. Again, hey, let's not be too complicated here. They like big physical dudes on their D-line. The guy's 6'4", 265 or whatever, and he ran 4.5. I mean, okay. Is he a little stiff for me? Sure. But he plays hard. He's strong. It's a high ceiling, and there's some potential there, and even in my film watching, of growth in the pass rush. He's got all the skills and everything you want to be really a true force off the edge. They don't have another guy opposite of Frank Clark. I know they got the extension done with Frank Clark, right, for 2 more years to kind of lessen the salary cap and all of that. But, yeah, they're a team like you're talking about with Tampa Bay, too. Not a lot of needs for this team. They can kind of look for, like, yeah, we need it, and it's for the future and everything there. I think it makes sense.
All right, so 2 more picks to go here in the first round. You got the Bengals, and then you got my Detroit Lions back on the clock. But let's go with the Cincinnati Bengals at 31. They're 1 pick in the first round.
It goes back and forth here. Center from Iowa, Linderbaum, and you go, oh, shit, they're going to have one of the better offensive lines in football to go with Joe Burrow and those receivers and that running back, and oh, my gosh, it's going to be like Kansas City. You're going to go, we just got to keep pace with them every game. Yeah. We got to actually think about, we got to play a different style this week because we're playing Cincinnati, and we're not going to be able to stop them. So we got to play a game to think, like, we got to score 30 or we can't win. I mean, they could do that with Linderbaum. And but they do have Ted Karras, who they got from New England in the free agency, who can play center. So that's not, like, desperate there. So I don't know. I went back and forth between him and a corner. I thought about the Florida corner, Kair Elam. He's another guy there that's, I think, in the range it starts to make sense. But ultimately, I went with Linderbaum. To me, I had Kair. I don't know where they go. Elam, to me, was just Linderbaum. I have such a high grade on. I think he's so good that I just have a hard time thinking at 31, you go, oh, my gosh, he's here. We got to take him. And just you protect Chase and Higgins and Joe Burrow, and you open up holes for Mixon, and I don't know. So I just edged on that, but I certainly could see the corner being a thing here.
What a transformation that would be for them too. Bengals, we were talking about a couple years ago, one of the worst offensive lines in football, couldn't protect Joe Burrow. Right. I mean, had trouble with it last year too.
Right.
Shoring up that certainly possible.
No doubt. Just before we get there, I did think about a trade here too. Like, again, I don't like doing the trade shit and all that. But I did sit here and go, all right, here we are, 31. Is there a team that's going to come up and maybe take one of these quarterbacks now?
Yeah.
Are the Colts going to make a move? Are the Falcons going to make a move?
Yeah.
I don't think the Colts will make that move now, of course. Falcons, yes. I certainly can see them being a team that, maybe they do that. But there's a limited number of teams that can come up and make a play here. And I think, like, even if you're the Falcons, you might sit there and look at it and go, I don't know. If they have a feel about what Detroit might do, they might sit there and go, well, I think we can actually sit here at, pick 43, and we might be able to just have the quarterback fall to us, a la like Mac Jones to New England and pick 15 last year.
Sure.
So I stayed pat with the Bengals staying there, but I could certainly see some action going down here at this point.
Right. If you're listening, you didn't see what I did. If you're watching, you saw me prematurely unzip my T-shirt. We got the Detroit Rams right here. Final pick of the draft for trading away Matt Stafford. The pick couldn't have been any worse, right? They got the worst possible pick they could in the trade with the Rams.
Right.
They got one next year, too, so we'll see what happens.
Kenny Pickett, the
quarterback.
Yes.
Over Matt Corral, your number one quarterback.
Yeah, that's my number one guy. And again, you know who I would pick. I'm taking Matt Corral. That's who I want. That's who I think Matt Corral is the best quarterback in the draft. But I'm just, again, I don't know. I guess there's a part of me that just was, is that their cup of tea there? And I looked at, they got Jared Goff, and they do like that kind of quarterback, with coming from New Orleans and Drew Brees and all that, I guess I just erred on going, I think Kenny Pickett would be more their cup of tea than Matt Corral.
I'd rather they not do that.
You'd rather they not. That doesn't excite you.
Doesn't excite me.
No. Now, again, it's, I think it's going to be an upgrade over what you got quickly. I don't think it'll take long. Like, there's a spot where
even though low ceiling, kind of you know what you're going to get, you would take Kenny Pickett 2 years from now over Jared Goff.
Definitely, 100%. To me, this is one where it even makes sense too, because like you heard me talk about, like, man, if Carolina drafted Kenny Pickett, there's going to be an issue until games are played, because the locker room's going to go, wait, Sam Darnold's got a quicker release. Wait, Sam Darnold's arm stronger. Wait, Sam Darnold's outperforming him every day. To me, that's not going to be an issue in Detroit. Even though you might not outperform the veteran guy at first just because he's a veteran quarterback,
right,
people are going to go, well, man, his arm is stronger. Oh, he does throw a prettier ball. Oh, he definitely is a better athlete than Goff. And that's, to me, that you can sell that to your team better that way too. And again, I know I'm not high on Kenny Pickett. And again, I'm never not rooting for these guys. I hope he proves me wrong too. I do think he's a guy though that could be your starter really quickly and dependable and have a long career. The ceiling I don't see tremendously high.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.